The Big 12's got a whole new look for 2024 and a whole new schedule just released the other day. Welcome to the Voice of College Football, breaking down the game we all love each and every day with best discussion, debate, and analysis. Let's start with a program that has an opportunity, certainly here, in moving in from the Pac-12 to be the program in the new Big 12. 16 teams, including Utah. Let's check it out for 2024. Utes coming off a down 8-5 season in the Pac-12, but of course they had quarterback issues, starting with Cam Rising missing the entire season. Cam Rising should be back for all of 2024. It's a Thursday night opener against Southern Utah. The two teams met back in 2022, not much of a game. Utes won it 73-7. Then Kyle Whittingham and company dive into its new conference schedule against the Baylor Bears. Ironically, these two teams met as a non-conference game just last season, and it was one of the best finishes in college football for the entire year as Utah pulled it out by a touchdown late. And that was the first time the two schools had ever met. Baylor coming off a 3-9 season. They play on September 7th, followed by a date on the road against Utah State. 6-7 last year were the Aggies. This is a long and illustrious series between the two schools. Utah leads 79-34 ties, but they have not met since 2015. Then Utah probably embarks on its most difficult back-to-back situation the entire season at Oklahoma State against Alan Bowman, coming back for a seventh year at quarterback. Ollie Gordon, the nation's leading rusher, returning to Stillwater as well. Oklahoma State won the only matchup between the two schools in 1945. They, of course, reached a Big 12 championship game. It's Utah at Oklahoma State in a pivotal Big 12 affair, followed by a game at home against Arizona. Now, of course, Arizona, not unfamiliar to the Utes. They played every year as rivals in the Pac-12 South. The Wildcats coming off the fine season with Jedd Fisch as the head coach at 10-3. However, of course, Fisch off to Washington. Brent Brennan, the new head coach at Arizona. Wildcats won this matchup 42-18 last year after Utah had won 6 consecutive games. They hold the series lead 26-20-2. And again, it's Brent Brennan on the sidelines for the Cats with Noah Fafita back at quarterback, the Pac-12 newcomer of the year in 2023. Then after a bye week, Utah takes on another familiar foe, October 2nd, going to Arizona State. Again, it's a typical road trip from them as both schools move from the Pac-12. The Sun Devils coming off a dismal 3-9 showing. They also lost to Utah 55-3 last year. Jaden Rashada could be the starting quarterback at Arizona State, and the Sun Devils actually lead this series 22-12. Then it is a Mountain West Conference reunion of sorts as TCU takes on Utah. The Horned Frogs, a down year at 5-7 under Sonny Dykes. The two teams last met in 2010. That was a magical TCU season in which they went undefeated and won the Rose Bowl, and they also dusted off Utah 47-7. The Utes do lead the all-time series 5-3, and then the Utes go to Houston to take on Willie Fritz, the new head coach of the Cougars, coming off a 4-8 first season in the Big 12. October 26th, it's Utah at Houston. Then the bye week before the stretch drive against BYU, and this is just a great change in college football. To put Utah and BYU in the same conference, this is one way in which realignment got it right. Now Utah and BYU, bitter rivals, the Holy War, will play every year. Now, they did just meet in 2021. BYU won the game after 9 straight wins by the Utes. Utah leads the all-time series 59-32-4. BYU coming off a 5-7 season. Then Utah takes on Colorado. Now, this in the Pac-12 was the matchup that the conference designated every year as the final weekend of the season, but they will play on November 16th, Utah at Colorado. And, of course, the Buffs got off to the amazing start in 2023 under Deion Sanders with 3 consecutive wins and all that national attention and acclaim. Then they bottomed out with 1 win the rest of the season to finish at 4-8. Utah has won 7 straight in the series and leads 35-32-3. And then the final 2 weekends of the season, Utah taking on Iowa State. Iowa State leads the series 4-1. Cyclones coming back from a 4-8 season 2 years ago to go 7-6 with a bowl loss to Memphis. And these two teams last met in 2010, and Utah all over the Cyclones 68-27. But this should be a good ball game this time around. Iowa State coming to Salt Lake City. And then finally, interesting Big 12 scheduling here. Utah and BYU could play the final game of the season on rivalry weekend. However, Utah's opting for a first ever meeting against UCF. So the Knights coming off 6-7. They were the most successful, we'll put that in quotes, team to enter the Big 12 last year at 3-6. John Rice Plumlee back at quarterback, accounted for 20 touchdowns last year. It's Gus Malzahn, it's Kyle Whittingham, two veteran coaches going at it the final weekend of the season. UCF at Utah. Did you notice anything strange about this schedule? And it's going to be every schedule in the Big 12. They're playing 10 conference games, only 2 non-conference games, one against Southern Utah and the other one against Utah State. So Utah not playing anybody outside the conference of note, not playing another Power 4 conference. I don't like that, but the 10 conference games certainly gives legitimacy to the conference standings in the championship. So since you got 16 teams, 15 other opponents possible, then Utah and everybody else misses 5 opponents. Who are they for the Utes? West Virginia, Kansas, Kansas State, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech. So there are some of the top teams in the league, expected top teams, with West Virginia coming off a 9-4 season, as did Kansas State, as did Kansas. Texas Tech was also a bowl winner at 7-6. So Utah gets a pretty good ride in terms of scheduling favor from the Big 12 in season number 1. Your thoughts about the Utes? Of course, we know that they're going to come disciplined, gritty, ready to play, poised, and tough under Kyle Whittingham. Leave your comments down below. Please check out the rest of the videos we posted already for the ACC, and now we're marching through the Big 12 right here at the Voice of College Football.